Dear Windows 7 gamers, screw you. Sincerely, Microsoft. Well, that might not be the case. So if you've been keeping up to date with PC news, you might have come across the fact that DirectX 12 is not coming to Windows 7, which is about 50% of all Steam users. So we're talking about 50 million gamers. Well, here's the thing. A lot of people are reporting that yes, DirectX 12 is not coming to Windows 7, but that might not be the case. The story originally came from an AMD press conference where they outright said DirectX 12 is not coming to Windows 7. But now AMD is backtracking. They're saying that they misspoke. They don't have any insight into exactly what Microsoft is planning, and they don't know if it's coming to Windows 7 or not. So if you did happen to hear that there's no DirectX 12 on Windows 7, that might not be the case. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens. Now, I did read something that still concerns me, but also sounds like a good thing. They said that updates to DirectX 11, so DirectX 11.3 will be coming out, which has all those nifty features that are going to be in DirectX 12, or a good portion of them that people are looking for, that helps reduce that overhead on the CPU. That's a big thing they're gunning for. Now my question there is, well, why are they introducing these in DirectX 11? At first glance, I thought this sealed the deal for DirectX 12 not coming to Windows 7. Why would you release 11.3 at the same time as 12? Wouldn't everyone just move over to 12? Well, there's two reasons for this. One is the fact that DirectX 12 is a low-level API and some older hardware will not support it. The other factor in that low-level API access is it's potentially dangerous. If you give people that much power, they can screw up hardware. So some people it's going to be much easier to develop on 11.3. Keep it a little bit more traditional. Just very briefly, for the people who do not have a clue what DirectX 12 is, or why it's important and how it benefits gamers and all that stuff, I'm going to go into it very quickly, explain how consoles work so you can see the difference. Consoles work on what's known as low-level access. The hardware is always the same. It never changes. So when a developer's working, they know what they're working with. They can tax the hardware very specifically. They can make direct references to the hardware, get it to do what they're aiming for. That's why they could get pretty decent performance out of the crap hardware that this current generation has. PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One are low-level PCs. They really are. A mid-range PC that you buy today is much more powerful. However, PCs need to go through a level of abstraction. They all have different hardware. In order to get the game to run, what has to happen is there has to be an intermediary. The game wants to use the hardware. The game isn't sure what the hardware is, so it's going to be passed through DirectX, and DirectX knows how to talk to all the different hardware out there. But because there's that intermediary step, you don't get the same performance you do with low-level access. You need like a translator in between. So DirectX 12 is supposed to cut the overhead to the CPU, make things run much more efficiently, and at the same time, it's supposed to make things a lot easier on the developers, which is good. If the developers don't have to waste a lot of time screwing around with little stuff, they can produce an overall better product. In a nutshell, DirectX 12 means better performance for us PC gamers. As of right now, DirectX 12 is not scheduled to release until mid next year, 2015. It's supposed to coincide directly with Windows 10 release. Is that going to stay the same? I don't know. You can't get a lot of information on this. You can't even find out if it's going to work on Windows 7. So guys, we just got to wait and see what happens. But no matter what, this is good stuff for PC gamers, at least those on Windows 8 and Windows 10. Like I said, it would be a huge screw you to Windows 7 gamers, which is nearly 50 million Steam gamers. That's right, Steam has about 100 million active users, and 40-something% of them use Windows 7. So the final question is, will Microsoft say, screw you to us, just to help promote Windows 8 and Windows 10? And very quickly guys, why is there no Windows 9? The most prevailing theory is the fact that the legacy code. There's lots of code in different applications, Microsoft products and stuff like that, that checks what version of Windows you're using. And there used to be a Windows 98, there used to be a Windows 95. So if they called this Windows 9, it would see the 9 and start thinking it's 95 or 98 and screw up applications. So because of that sheer laziness, they went to Windows 10. That's one of those theories that's out there, and I tend to believe it. Okay, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this little discussion news video. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys online. Want to stay up to date in the gaming world? Check out the Opium Pulse's news Steam group.